So Regina had her moment. And now let me get everything up here. Ethan and Jacob had their moment. And so now we're gonna shift the camera over, and we're gonna be on Chet outside, lighting one cigarette off the next, maybe? Or is that too much nicotine at once?
I'm having the one, and I feel guilty about it.
Okay,
but
right.
I gotta calm the nerves.
Okay, so let's come back in now. So we're back with Chet. Chet's just seen some shit. And he's outside. He's having a smoke. What's going through your mind, Chet?
I am wondering what decisions I made that led me to going with these people that I just met, coming to a circus, even though I didn't have to. How I'm going to get home, and how I'm going to explain this to Christine when I get back to the double wide, and how I'm going to explain this to anyone else who asks about it.
Right. So you had just had them run an old show today, but you're due back on the air tomorrow morning.
That's right.
Right. What's your time's your show start? It's 10 to 12?
It's 9 to 11.
Okay. I know nothing about radio, but I imagine you don't roll in at 8:59. You've missed the pre-production meeting now.
Right.
You're like, for the day before, you're kind of screwed. And maybe
so I know we've got a spot planned for tomorrow. We've probably got a lot of that pre-recorded. I need to be there to make sure that actually, what's happening tonight is there's a Red Ravens game. And as everybody knows, I'm the voice of the Red Ravens. I need to get back at some point to call that game.
Okay. Well, it's about 5:00 now. The Red Ravens are what kind of sports team?
Baseball? They are a football team.
They're a football team. It is August, so they're in preseason, or is it Red Ravens? Sorry, is it a college team?
Are
you pulling
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Are you pulling? Is Red Ravens real, or did you make it up?
That's real.
Okay. So it is the Coffeyville High School team.
Yeah.
Or okay, great.
I think it's the Coffeyville High School team.
Right. So they have a preseason game. Tonight, kind of a scrimmage, but being Kansas, it still gets a lot of people.
How far away are we?
2 hours.
Okay, so let's just say that I've called in a favor to a coworker to go in and call that game. I'm not going to be able to make that.
Well, I don't know. You feel really motivated to get the hell out of here. Okay. Do you want to make it happen? What do you need to make it happen? You can feel something inside of you, like you're kind of at a breaking point, right? Your life, the past year has been shit. And you're getting to that moment where you've just about had enough of everything.
Yeah,
to end
I'm
up
really
at a casino
shit.
with some crazy woman talking to a lion and pretending she could hear
I don't know how it got there, but it's given me a moment of clarity. I think this very moment, if I can get back and call this Red Ravens game, this is going to be the one that the anchor in Kansas City hears and decides, maybe it's time to give this guy the shot that he's looking for.
Okay.
So first thing I need is a car.
You got a fire purpose. You need a car. How are you going to get a car? What do you really want? To throw logic out the window. What do you want right now? What does Chet Collingsworth not want?
I want a car to just pull up and just present itself to me.
Well, unfortunately, that's not going to happen.
Okay. Well, you told me to throw logic out the window.
You are a magician?
Right? And you recognize that, but you do see cars pulling up. They're driven by people, and they're giving them to the valet, and there's people parking their cars. You're where cars are coming and going at all times.
I mean, it'd be really great if there were like a car rental place.
There's probably there's no car rental place. You can steal a car. What do you want to do? Life's kicked you in the fucking nuts enough, hasn't it?
It really has. And it's just... It's really nice of Christine to bring me into that double wide, but it's a double wide, and I really think I'm capable of more than that. I think I just want this shot.
A car pulls up. What's your favorite type of car? What does Chet want to drive?
I think honestly probably a BMW. What is it? M3.
Okay, so you don't quite see the M3 pull up, but you see a pretty nice BMW pull up. And the people are just sitting there, windows down, hot summer night, playing music, waiting for the valet to come over. What are you going to ask them?
It'd be great if they would notice me. It'd be great if they'd like recognize me. Like that's what I've always wanted. I just want to be recognized.
All right. Well, you're a radio guy, and you're standing 15 feet away from the car. So you're going to go over and start talking. Okay.
Excuse me. You got a moment? I need a moment of your time.
Okay. Draw a card.
Uh-oh.
No. That's not as bad as you think it is. Not the tarot cards.
I pulled the death card.
Now, death, I believe, just means change.
It's that radio DJ. Shoot him.
Basically, death is a period, a time of deep transformation, likely to both be inner and outwardly in your life. Situations, things, and people that you have counted on or gotten used to may no longer be available in the same way, and this transition can be difficult for some people. Does this sound familiar, Chet?
It sounds very familiar. Sounds like the past year of my life.
Sometimes we can't see how our attitudes are hurting us, and when that is true, this time period can be a wake-up call. The energy of this time is not just change or destruction. It is change or destruction followed by renewal. If you hate your job or you're underemployed, this is your time for something bigger. That's death. So you feel something shift when you walk over. The Chet you were when you started walking is not the Chet you are 15 steps later when you're in front of the car and saying, excuse me.
Okay.
You are bigger. You are
grander.
You know when you were 20 and all your life was before you and you weren't going to do anything wrong? You're that guy again, right? Whether it's just a moment of clarity, nicotine, an attitude, or just fuck this, how did I end up here? Something goes back and all of the weariness of middle age and failure is gone and you are filled with a vital purpose. So you look over and you say, excuse me, may I have a moment? And your voice sings. You know your voice. It's your instrument.
Okay.
And it is just galvanized right there in that moment.
I need a ride back to Coffeyton.
Well, why don't you hop on in? We weren't going to Coffeyton, but we will now.
Well, thank you. That's very kind of you. And I go ahead and hop in the back seat.
Okay. So you get in the back seat and they're like, where are we going again? Where in Coffeyton would you like to go?
We need to go to the radio station, KGGFAM.
Fantastic. Do you need to be there in a hurry?
As quick as you can.
That card was killing out. Right? Almost clipped someone. And they are, like, you've always imagined what it's like to have fans. I mean, you've thought of it a lot.
Yeah.
And you've run into people in life who sort of recognize your voice when you're getting coffee and give a little like, oh, hey, you're that guy on the radio.
Yeah.
But this is the first time that
this is going a little farther than that.
This is fans. This is rock star fans. These are people who kind of just are enthralled.
This is talk radio groupies. Oh, I know that feel.
It's talk radio groupies in the way that talk radio groupies never existed.
So,
right?
So
you're on your way back to Coffeyton.
Am I at all aware of how easy this feels? Or am I just feeling lucky?
I don't know. Which one are you?
I feel like I'm feeling lucky. Well, it's mighty kind of you guys to take me all the way there.
Well, you asked. Happy to do so. I mean, we were going to go. It was our wedding anniversary, and we were going to celebrate at the casino, but this seems like a fun thing to do instead.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your anniversary.
It's nothing. Seems like a better idea. You asked? No, just seems fun. Can't put my finger on it.
Huh. Oh, well, mighty kind of you.
No problem. Anything we can get for you?
Hang on a second. I'm starting to feel a little bad now.
Okay.
Well, okay. So like table talk for a second, because I'm rapidly taking myself away from everything else that's happening now.
It's fine. It'll all work out. We'll figure it out.
Okay. Well, all right.
You don't have to go back to the group. We'll make it work. So.
Okay. Well.
you want to are you feeling bad, but are you just is it time for Chet to get his due? Something to break right for him?
I mean, it is. It honestly is.
Papa Chet needs some sugar.
Yeah.
How? Come back to me in a second. Let me think about this.
Okay, they ease onto the highway and start heading south back towards Coffeyton. All right, now the rest of you, I think at this point, I know two of you have each other's cell phones. I know Regina and Ethan have each other's cell phones, so you can get back into communication and physical proximity as soon as you like.
Yeah.
So you regather together in the casino outside the arena. Update each other. You can either do it in real time or just say you have updated each other, whichever one you like.
I don't feel like we need to play that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
We all know.
I think
so let's
we
say
all know.
updated.
Excited, confused, frightened sort of situation. So
Are there other animals around? Does anybody have like a dog with them or anything like that?
Yeah, sure. There's a person there with a dog. Like a kind of a serial slot machine lady who's working 4 all in at once, and she has her dog on her lap.
Sure.
Oh God, so sad.
I'm gonna just give me a second, guys. I want to try something out. I look at the dog and I'm like, "Hi."
Hello. How are you?
Yes.
Please
I'm good. I'm good. How are you doing?
I hate my life.
Oh.
I just want to walk more.
This is breaking my heart.
Oh my God.
I turn to Jacob and I go, remember when something like this would have been weird?
Well, we don't hear the dog talking.
No, I
No,
know.
you don't
I'm
hear the
just
dog. All
watching-
you hear ting 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 ting.
Right.
You know, like like all the
And
stuff
all this-
that's going. Yeah,
And
and
all
you
of a sudden,
realize
Regina looks really sad.
yeah, no, and you realize, Regina, that you're not like, again, it's a lot. Animals are really a lot of nonverbal communication. Like
Yes.
you're
No,
just
I'm getting. I'm
it's-
doing like an interpretation here.
yeah, and I mean,
Yes.
I'm not superly familiar with autism, but like how people with autism don't understand nonverbal cues sometimes, and like that's like all of humanity is autistic with animals, and suddenly you're not.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like suddenly
right.
all of their behavior translates fairly close to language. Like, but you're doing a little bit of interpretation. It's all body language, and you can tell someone's mad when they cross their arms or they, their body. Like, it's all things we do second nature with humans. You now seem to be able to do, at least with a lion and a dog.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that it's loud in there really doesn't make much of a difference, because animals
Gotcha.
really only make noises to convey intense emotions
Right.
or communication. So, okay.
So look, I'm sorry, Shawn, what's your character's name again?
Ethan?
Ethan.
Ethan. I nudge Ethan. I'm like, hey, can you do your thingy that you can do and make one of her slot machines like?
How many days is that going
Even
to
just
cost
like a
me?
little bit.
Hang on. Let me. I want to check and
It'll
make
be
sure
good.
this
It'll
works.
be really good practice. I mean, if this is something we're gonna have to do under pressure.
All right, but
you
I'm not
should
going to make her
probably get some
super
practice
rich.
earlier.
I don't want to die next week. Thank you. So
No,
I just
like,
kind of.
just a bit.
Shh. I'm doing it. So I try. So I watch her, push the max bet button.
Yeah.
And then I, try. Okay, I want to see if I can do it again.
Okay, so you're going to have to draw a card. And the draw card, sometimes when you're doing something big, is going to mean whether you succeed at all or not.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's small, like these little almost low probability things, like slot machines are already about probability. You're just adjusting something that's supposed to be probable anyway to being more probable.
Okay.
The question is, how much energy do you waste and how much do you sort of get drained by it?
Gotcha.
So higher numbers are still better. Lower numbers means you did it, but wow, you might have just taken a month off your life as opposed to an hour.
All right. Well, I'm clicking. Let's see. I got. I guess it's a 9.
All right, a 9, pretty good. Right, we're not going to do any interpretation. We're just looking for a number. Numbers 9's better than average. 7, I think, is average. Maybe it's 8. I can't remember. So you kind of get a sense of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's new to you, but you immediately know like like throwing a ball, like, oh, that didn't come out right, or planted my foot wrong. Like it's all that in your head. Like you're starting to be like, I need to do this, and you're playing around with it, and maybe that the headache's not quite there. It's like, what did I do wrong? So every time you do this, you're going to get better at it, which means I'm going to allow you to do bigger things. You could try right now to go back to the beginning of the universe and make people have blue skin or something, right? But I don't.
Well, now I got to do that.
But I'm not. All of a sudden, you're 1,000 years old.
Right. Yeah. But it will A, kill you.
Yeah.
And B, you'll only do it if you draw the exact right card from the tarot deck, which I will just decide randomly.
Okay. Yeah.
So
just trying to do this minor thing then.
Right. So you do this minor thing, and all of a sudden thing goes ding, 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 and coins start coming out, right? And or like you hit in the bottom, and the woman's like, and she drops her gin and tonic or whatever it is in the plastic cup, and it hits the patterned rug. So she just won. I don't know how much that would be.
$500.
Oh, she wins $500. That's you played it low. Okay. So you did it. You did it.
And I say to the dog, "Come with me, and I'll make sure you get a better life."
The dog thinks that's great. In the hubbub, the dog jumps off the lap, but the woman's so delighted by her winnings that she doesn't immediately notice, and the dog walks over to you, just like, all right, what do you want me to do next? Like, not a slave, just more like pack hierarchy.
Sure. All right, I scoop it up. I'm assuming it's like a tiny.
Yeah, it's a tiny dog.
Like a toy poodle or something.
And now you have a pet.
I scoop it up. I'm like, let's get out of here.
A familiar.
She has a familiar. It's closer. Okay. All right. So you go. The woman's going to notice in a minute or so.
Yeah, I'm booking it.
Okay. So you start heading towards the entrance. Now we're back to Chet. Chet, you're in the car. And you're with Darlene and Dennis.
Okay.
Who are driving you back. Let me put them into the master list of people that we've encountered.
I am going to text my separated wife, Janine, and I'm gonna see some things are starting to come into clarity for me. I've realized these people have just dropped everything and done what I asked, and I'm thinking maybe now's a good time to get back together with Janine. Maybe now she'll be more receptive to talking to me about getting the family back together. So I'm sending her.
So what do you text?
I'm texting to see where she is. I'm supposed
so tell me exactly what you text.
ASL, LOL. No.
Are you free to talk?
Okay, so my big question is: did you spell out "RU" or did you put the letter R and the letter U?
How old are you? You're 55?
Yeah, I'm 55. I spelled it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
With commas and punctuation and everything.
In fact, I would be the type of person who would forget to put in the periods. Yeah. It would just all be one long sentence.
Okay. That's good. Because if you'd done it with just the letters, then I, as a DM, would have punished you. Because I hate that shit.
Yeah.
Totally meta game, out of game. I don't care.
That's fair.
Right. Are you free to talk? Her response is, fuck you. And then immediately after that, another text comes in parentheses. That means no. And then all of a sudden, all these texts start appearing. Like, what do you want to talk about? What the hell's going on? You haven't even tried to see your son. Jesus Christ, Chet.
I start to text. Hold on. Slow down. Let's just talk. Can we meet? And I leave out the periods because I'm old.
Okay. So tell me a little bit. How long ago did your wife leave?
About a year ago.
Okay. How old's your son?
He is like 15.
15. You have any
maybe 14.
Okay.
They are in, I think, Tulsa.
Sure.
Normally, although she travels back and forth a lot for work.
Okay.
Tulsa being like the big metropolitan area for here, as I understood it, right?
I think that's the case.
My aspiration has always been to make it big in a town like Tulsa, and I've always been stuck in Coffeyville. So she got like a marketing job, and they moved to Tulsa, and she used that as putting distance between the two of us.
All right. So is meeting something that's unusual? Like I kind of answered that as if you hadn't talked for a while.
Right. Well, we probably haven't talked for a while. She's not very happy that I'm with Christine.
Yeah.
but we would probably meet on occasion to talk about visitation, or like, she'd be trying to get me to spend more time with the son, especially if she's coming into Coffeyton for work.
Okay. So she then, contextually, this seems like something she would agree to do. It's Monday dinner time.
She wouldn't be excited about it.
No, she's not excited. Even through the cold medium of texting, it is dripping with, go to hell.
Well, I think the fuck you really sold that part.
That really kind of is when you start a conversation with that.
It landed solid. I have to say,
she's back in town for work on Wednesday, right? And she can meet you for coffee in a public place.
Okay.
After your shift.
Okay.
So then the public place is not because she's afraid of you; she's afraid of a loud fight,
right?
And that will keep you.
So like a coffee shop,
yeah, like just a coffee shop.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Let's see. I'm feeling out the rest of my. I'm wondering what else I can talk people into doing. What else? So tell me a little bit about this casino that we just left, and we're probably like 20 minutes outside of now.
It's, I just Googled it. It's the closest casino to Coffeyton as far as I can tell. There may be others, but that was just.
They have a hotel
search.
there?
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask Darlene and Dennis.
Yeah.
Let's turn this back around.
Sure. No problem. Exit coming up in about a mile. That enough time, or you want me to just cut across the median?
Let's cut across the median.
Oh my god. Bootlegger reverse in the median.
So that's like no problem, and basically slows down. I mean, he's not going to take his life in his own hands here. But basically slows down and then goes down, like there's a little ravine in the median where they're, gully, and then goes back up the other side and waits for a gap in the traffic and starts going the other way.
Wow. I am just... it's about time people start doing the things that I say.
Okay.
Oh my God.
All right.
I don't know how I feel about being on the same team as Kilgrave, basically.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I realized this as he started talking. I'm like, holy shit, this guy's Kilgrave. Purple Man. Don't worry, there's always a price.
Yeah, we.
That's true. Yes.
I don't know that yet. This all feels pretty good to me.
So you're heading back. So now we'll cut back to the casino. You're now walking out, trying to get get your car. You have the dog. What's the dog's name? What does the dog want to be called?
The dog's name was Trixie.
Yep.
Of course it was.
But it wants to be called Killer. So that's
okay.
What
there
we
go. Stormageddon. Yeah.
Call her. That's what we're gonna call her.
Yeah. Killer. Dog. Formerly.
And this is like what, like one of those little white puffball kind of dogs?
Yeah, it's a toy poodle.
Gotcha.
Toy poodle. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the three of us are at the front of the casino.
After I got her to the casino, I put her down next to me, and I'm just like, "Hey, stick by me." She's getting her walk.
She's getting her walk.
Nice.
She's very excited. Yeah. She's stretching her legs and walking, and she's like, she just looks at you, and she looks up at you, and she just says, "Thank you." That's it.
No problem, Killer.
Yeah.
No problem.
Now when she's talking,
the gate go up, being called Killer, like finally, like
she's the butt waggle.
Yeah, she's got like some sort of.
Now, when Regina's talking back, is she talking regular? I mean, so if the dogs or animals are talking through like
speaking
physical,
out loud.
Is she?
Yeah,
just,
she's speaking out loud. She looks like a complete crazy person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you buy in that she's talking to animals? Or like you just find with like how the world rolls here now?
It doesn't seem any weirder than anything else that's going on.
Right.
Yeah. No. After being able to, I'm standing there like I can't believe I just got 2 jackpots and none of it didn't get any money. None. Like I've been waiting for this day for 25 years
before you actually get to cash out on any of this.
But let me ask this.
I'm actually pretty surprised the gambling addict isn't going nuts with this.
So let me ask this. Let me actually point this out.
Yeah.
Gambling's about winning.
Right.
Is it? Though?
Well, it's about the adrenaline thrill, and you get the endorphin rush actually from placing the bet more than you necessarily get it from
I was thinking
winning.
about this. Like,
it happens in the very moment before you realize whether you have won or lost. That's where the rush is.
Right. So you are getting that rush every time you try to manipulate reality, and when you succeed, that's kind of your payoff. Mm-hmm. But the money is now become secondary to the act that you basically just pulled a short con on the universe.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out whether in the immediate aftermath of this, is my immediate thought, oh my God, let me go just take the house for everything, or am I immediately, it's sort of like, and I think it's more this, having it sort of exposed for what it is immediately takes some of the luster and desire off it a little bit. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Totally.
Yeah, I'm not an expert at all about gambling addiction, so I'm kind of doing a little bit of stereotyping, shorthanding type. But basically, you've replaced one addiction for another, but you realize that right now, like you've never gambled. Ethan's never gambled away, like where he couldn't pay his mortgage, right? So you're not quite going to gamble away your life because you recognize that's your holdings, that's your stack. Mm-hmm. But it's a fun thing to play around with, to know that whatever you can think of, you've got a shot, but you know the consequence. But you've also had about half an hour to process this. So
right.
We'll see how you feel after a night's sleep when you wake up and think, I wonder if I can fly.
See, I think you should be making some poorer decisions personally.
So, what's that?
I'm about to start making some poor decisions, so I think everybody should approach that.
I'm feeling a little bit like I just need to go to a bookstore and learn how to be a clown. Like I'm mentally sitting here saying, okay, so we have to form a circus. I think I know how circuses work. I have no idea how to be a clown. Nobody's ever accused me of being funny. So I'm actually trying to do the math in my head about like, okay, so how do we actually start a circus? Like I immediately went into this weird practical zone.
You're a CPA, right? Like
exactly. I'm just my
is that
CPA
an LLC? Like how do you arrange like for liability?
Is it an LLC?
Exactly. It's like, where's the insurance? We have to incorporate. Should it be a Delaware corporation?
You're going to make a terrible clown.
No.
So you are waiting for your car when all of a sudden you see what you think is your car briefly, and then you realize it's a different BMW. And in the back is Chet, which you have to admit you kind of forgotten about in all the hubbub, because he sort of just showed up and came with you and then fled.
Yep.
And he's in the back seat.
Hey guys,
how's it?
You seem different.
Do you want to go for a ride?
So when he says that to you, you can feel very briefly this sort of like ego stroke, like that sounds like a great idea. But then it's sort of like when you're drunk and you think like, oh, it's going to be funny to pee off this balcony. And then you realize it's the alcohol talking and you go, no. Right.
I mean, I don't agree with that, but okay.
What's that? You don't agree with it? Well, that was the PG-13 version of bad decision making. So you have this moment where you're like, I would like to go for it, and then you realize that no, you're kind of onto this.
And we're kind of, they've got to be a little bit wary of it too. Like it's got to be like, okay, all right. So I mean, Chet, I'm probably good. Car looks a little full. Are you staying or going?
Well, I think I'll go ahead and stay. Thank you, Darlene and Dennis, for your time.
Okay. Thank you. And then you get out, and they're just sitting there.
Do you have someplace to be?
I don't know.
You don't you have a wedding anniversary to celebrate?
Oh. Yes.
Yeah, go have a good time.
We will go have a good time. Thank you. And they drive off like really kind of slowly, like, wrong blinker goes on for a minute and then they pull into a parking lot and then, then they're gone.
That was weird. How are you guys?
So, learn a little something about yourself, Chet.
I feel like a go-getter. I feel like everything's finally going to start going my way.
Everything's coming up, chat.
Everything's coming up, chat.
All right. Well, so let's just recap. We have a magician, a clown, an animal talker, and I don't know, like,
what are you talking about?
Yeah, and the guy who can make other people do other stuff. So we got ourselves a real start of a rock band here, don't we?
Kansas is a terrible place to start a business.
Okay.
What are we going to actually do? I mean, coffee,
Jacob.
Yeah.
Do you actually think we're supposed to start an actual circus? Do you think? I mean, is that where your head's at?
Well, that's what the other guys were doing, right? He called me the clown.
Because it just makes it like easier for them.
It could just be a metaphor or something.
So I still can't get over what we're supposed to do. Like, do we go back to our houses and sleep?
Okay. So
do we rent a van and learn how to play instruments?
Okay.
I don't
let's
understand.
go back to what Morgan said. And this is Morgan said, if we are kind of waking up and we're all in the same area, then it's probably because something is happening near us. So, yeah, I think we have to, step 1, go back to Coffeyton. Step 2, question mark, step 3, profit. I don't know, guys. I mean, this is new as you.
All of a sudden, it's underpants gnomes. God.
Why don't we go ahead and go back to Coffeyton? You sir, over there. I motion.
I have a car.
Hold on. As you're doing this, you hear a car engine getting louder, which is unusual because there's not. And you see the BMW that you just left with Darlene and Dennis going about 50 miles an hour into a crowd of people with them behind the wheel.
Okay.
What would you like to do? There's all these people waiting for their cars and their suitcases and people like with their back.
Stop.
Okay, it's loud. So you shout stop. What else is everyone else doing?
I start running over there. Like,
yeah, I run towards the crowd.
Yeah.
I'm like, get out of the way.
Yeah. I'm in my head. I'm thinking he said something about like maybe that hollow guy was the one that was going to do something. And I'm wondering whether Chet just made one of these or something like that. So I just sort of run over and just start trying to, I don't know, feel like do I feel anything?
I tried to make,
like when we went into the basement, all of a sudden we felt something.
I want to try to make the car stop.
Okay, you want to make the car stop. You're saying stop and you're trying to feel. I need everyone, and Regina, you're just kind of running towards the situation. You're all going to have
Regina's checking if they're animals.
Yeah. Well, you're outside. There's probably rats.
Yeah.
There's
that's true.
Something. I'm sure there are rats living in and around the parking lot of a casino.
Yeah.
All right. So everyone who wants to do something, pull a card.
Who first?
Wait. Let me shuffle them. That work? Does an S stand for? There we go.
Do I need to refresh the page?
Yeah, probably. Or it may do it on its own. It pushes a refresh every 5 seconds.
Yep. Okay.
Who first?
So
who's drawing first?
Chet, you shout stop. So draw one.
I drew a 7.
Okay. Perfectly average sort of draw. So what happens is you shout stop, and everyone who can hear you besides our present company instantly stops, whether they're in the path of the car or not in the path of the car.
Guys,
they just physically stop.
I'm really going to enjoy being Kilgrave. This is going to be fun.
Okay. Regina, what were you doing?
I was trying to get people out of the path of so this is not particularly good.
Yeah, they're not frozen, but also they became dead weight, right? Instead of starting to move and you're guiding them, you kind of bounce off the nearest one because you're not a big person. It's just a matter of.
I'm tall, but I'm not. Yeah.
Right. It's just kind of mass. So you sort of bounce ineffectively off a person. Make a card pull, Jacob, to see if you sense anything.
Okay. And I got the 8 of swords.
Okay. So yeah, it's hard to detect. It's a new skill, but you get the same feeling of rot, like something has crept into this world from somewhere else, in and around the car that's barreling towards them, and you can see as you're looking at the car that Darlene and Dennis have these not evil, that's really the wrong word, horrific grins, almost like a rictus, right? Like the Joker had struck them. Like they are just gleeful at what is about to happen. Okay. And now we're going to go to Ethan, and you're trying to make what happen?
I'm trying to essentially have the car just freeze in place, stop.
Okay. Freeze in place and stop is a very dramatic thing. You could have it,
right.
The brakes go on, is an improbable. Having it just stop for no reason at all is more improbable. So you kind of want to work with what's something that could happen rather than what is unlikely to happen.
Then yeah, I guess just sort of. Okay, how far? I mean, are they hitting people yet, or do I?
No,
have
they're
some
not
distance?
hitting people. They are. I don't know exactly how fast they're going.
Are they in the parking lot?
Yeah,
I want a car to back out in front of them.
Okay. Car with someone in it to go into reverse, or just a car to like suddenly slip its parking brake and roll
essentially
backward?
Somebody backs out in front of them to just kind of to kind of veer them off course and kind of
you're aiming
create
for
a small
minor fender
wreck.
bender.
Yeah.
Okay.
In like a huge original Hummer, the kind that actually has the chassis.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I can't get that picky. I don't know.
Right. So you look around and you're like, I want one of these cars to back up unexpectedly and quickly.
Yes.
Okay. So pull a card.
I pulled. I can't see it yet. Another 9. No, I pulled a 4. I pulled a 4. That's a 4.
Oh, a 4 is not nearly as good.
4 is pretty bad.
So you got a 4, which means you did what you wanted, but you immediately pass out.
Okay.
Oh.
Right. Like you just like all of a sudden you go like you just move your hands. You're not sure if gestures help yet. Like you're all trying to figure it out. Like and
like I'm using the force. Like
right. Like do I use the force? Do I pull? Like do I gesture? Do I just want it? Like you like you have no idea what you're doing. But what happens is you do it and you feel like this overwhelming sense of death like grabs you. Like you can see moments that you should have lived will no longer exist. In the blink of an eye, like a month of your life just passes by. And it's not quite exactly like you lived a month, but it kind of is in the sense that you are hungry and dehydrated, like you would always be dead if you didn't drink anything for a month. But in sort of an abstract way, all of a sudden you just pass out from lack of blood sugar and fuel and everything else. And you just hit the ground and your beard like is longer than it was before. But at the same time, a car violently backs up and goes and does basically what you want. You got a 4. Right, where instead of them hitting this car and stopping, the car kind of T-bones them as they're walking, and it veers them off course. So now they're not heading towards a crowd of people, but they're just heading towards a pylon, like some sort of support around in a parking garage. And the car slams into the pylon. And even though they were probably wearing seatbelts, it's kind of a gruesome scene what happens next. Like, you can imagine it.
Yeah.
Dennis and Darlene are no longer with us.
Do I feel them gone?
You feel that there's this sort of inky void that just got untethered, right? Like it escaped its like basically something was in them and is now a vapor that's about to blow away on the breeze. Either flee or dissipate. You're not really quite sure which, because it's a relatively new thing for you. You can try to do one more thing.
We should go
with it. Yeah, and so you turn, and suddenly you are thrown up against the wall, Chet, by a man that you don't recognize, but everyone else does. A man by the name of Robert Johnson III. Yep. And he looks at you. And he says, I'm going to make this short so we don't cause any more problems. You are responsible for their deaths. This gift that we share
Yep.
If you use it selfishly, you rip a hole to the other place and let it in. You fucking selfish twat. You as sure to kill them as putting a bullet in their head. You used this gift for a ride? You better think about that, Chet. And he just throws you to the ground and walks away.
Wow.
Daddy.
I stand up and brush myself off.
Can I still feel this sort of inkiness out there?
No, that kind of distracted you and it blew away, but Robert didn't seem particularly troubled by it. It seems like it would be like a minor summoning of something that didn't have enough strength on its own to live in this world very long. It was more like a mishap brought about by Chet's actions.
Am I starting to come to it all? Or do they need to come help?
They need to come help you, right? Well, but there's people around. The paramedics have come out and they're running to the car and someone's coming over to you and they don't know exactly what's happening.
Sure.
So you're like, they're like, oh, he's, his blood pressure's really low and his pulse is kind of thready, and they're giving you an IV bag, or it's probably more than you need, but
gotcha.
They're there, right? They're used to people passing out at casinos. So what is everyone else doing right now?
I'm dumbstruck. I'm not talking.
I'm trying to see if anybody needs help, right? I mean, this was chaos, people falling down. I don't have any useful skills, but maybe I can pick somebody up off the ground or...
Yeah, no, you're just being a general, normal, non, sort of magical, for lack of a better term, help to people.
Yeah, I'm trying to rouse the people who got stopped in their tracks.
Yeah, actually, when they got stopped, they stopped briefly, and then as soon as the car went and Chet got slammed against the wall, it was a very temporary sort of thing. Sure. Like, they were told to stop, and then they did, and then with no further commands came, they're like, oh, crap, no car, right? And they immediately released whatever brief hold was on them.
All right, then I'm over by Ethan.
So.
Wow.
Okay.
That sucks. Don't let me do that again for a while, please, Regina.
I'm starting to get the feeling that this ain't all fun and games.
Yeah.
Looking over at Chet.
Yeah, I think it's holy shit, what about Chuck?
Oh my god.
Ugh.
And scene. There we go. Let's end it right there.
Well, I don't know where I'm going after today. Well, I just hope it's a long ways away from these dusty, tired streets where I was raised. Lord, I don't think I can take one more day. So I'm gone. So I'm gone. So I'm gone. Anywhere the road may